one of my most favorite movies of all time, and today I'm going to bring it to you in the form of... So I'm sure everyone knows what Jurassic Park is by now. A book that started as a story developed by Michael Crichton is now a multi-million-dollar movie franchise that is just one of the definitive science fiction / action adventure movies ever made, and it is awesome. And this is... So just in case you're not familiar with the storyline of Jurassic Park, and if you're not, this is it. So, like any paleontologist, a guy named Dr. Alan Grant, along with his girlfriend / accomplice, is working at this site, and of course, like any paleontologist, they are kind of a little low on cash. So this this big rich guy from out of nowhere drops in out of the sky in out of a helicopter and offers them a whole lot of money just if they will come and inspect this little park he's got, because that happens to be the kind of people that would know if it's safe or not for people to actually, go and look at and stuff. So Alan Grant, of course, is all like, well, I'm really busy interested. Did you see money? But along with him, he also has to get a couple other experts so it can meet the legal requirements or something like that. And so he's also got a mathematician friend who is played by Jeff Goldblum. Yes, Jeff Goldblum. And he hasn't changed a bit since we saw him in The Fly. In The Fly. And he's also bigger and scarier and leather clad, which is kind of horrifying, but that's okay. He also has his lawyer, which was not going to be killed at all in the movie. So they get to the island, and they are not really sure what it's all about. He's hinted at something, and, it's really cool to see him react to what they finally see, and it's actual dinosaurs, too. I mean, he's got real, live dinosaurs. And the way they get into how all these things come about and are made, it's just so cool and intricate and into it, and it's just science-y sounding. I mean, it's science fiction, but it's science, too. You also have Dr. Hammond. He's the big rich guy. You also have his grandchildren, Lex and Tim, who are played by actors who never really did much of anything else before. I have never seen them in anything else other than when they were kids, as far as I know. So that's about it for them. And there are lots of other interesting characters in here. You got Wayne Knight as this Dennis Nedry, a big fat slob guy who's basically Newman from Seinfeld, except now he's kind of an industrial spy. You'll see about him later. You also have Bob Peck playing Robert Muldoon, one of my personal favorite characters from the story, because he's just awesome. It's like, he's mysterious, you don't know where he comes from, but you seem like he has a sort of past with the Velociraptors here, and it's just like, you know something's going on between them. You don't know what exactly, and they never really get into it because they just can't. And then you got Sam Jackson as a guy who is kind of a red shirt, too. He doesn't really have a lot to do in the movie. I mean, he's there and then he's not, and it's like, what happened? But, so you just got a whole host of characters that are really cool. But then the real stuff happens, and that's when you start seeing the dinosaurs, the real dinosaurs. And the coolest part is when they see the first one, and it's just like, it's so real looking, it's just so awesome. Man! And as can be expected, if you try to harness nature, it will burst forth and come crashing through, and other artsy stuff that Ian Malcolm says. And now we have our survival movie. Now, I'm not going to ruin the basic gist of the story, because I guess you can figure out how most of it goes. I'm not going to say who dies and who doesn't, because it's real interesting, because they kill some people off that you wouldn't expect them to get killed off. But the dinosaurs, man, this was when special effects, CGI, and all that stuff, and it was still new, it was cool, it wasn't overused, and the thing is, they did not overuse the CGI in this movie. They used animatronics. Stan Winston, you're the man. He's the guy that had Predator and Alien, all those awesome things, and he makes it look awesome and realistic looking. Now, although these dinosaurs aren't exactly true to life, or however scientists view them as being, like velociraptors are as smart as people almost, and they're just not shaped the way a real velociraptor was. But it's still cool because you get that little bit of, just a little bit of mystery in there. It's like, maybe they're kind of mutated dinosaurs because they're mixed in with frog DNA or something like that. It's just, I think it's real cool, and I didn't mind them being a little different from realistic dinosaurs myself. So what can you say about the acting? Well, of course the acting was good. This is a great acting. Everyone does well, including Sam Neill. I'm not a big fan of Sam Neill's acting, but in this case he was great. He did what he was supposed to do. And they all did. They were all really good. Even, Jeff Goldblum, he was the same person who he always is, but in this case it worked. And the directing, of course, was awesome. It's Steven Spielberg, for crying out loud, before he stopped being, Steven Spielberg and started doing other things. What else can you really say about this movie other than that it's just great. It's awesome. It's a classic movie. It's one of the best science fiction / adventure movies ever made to date, in my own opinion. And I also think that it can never be redone again. It is just too great. I mean, even the soundtrack is awesome. I mean, it's just awesome. Listen to that. It's great. So, yeah, it's just awesome. And that's really all there is to say about it. So, until next time, I'm Creature Hunt Guy. I'll see you later.
Okay, now freeze your hand. Don't move. I'm going to do the same thing, start with the same. Stay in place again. Right. Which way is going to roll up?
You'll say back. Same way.
Same back. It changed. Why? Because tiny variations, the orientation of the hairs on your hands.
Hey, Alan, look at this.
The amount of blood to stand in your vessels, imperfections in the skin.
Imperfections in your skin?
And never repeat and vastly affect the outcome. That's point.
Unpredictability.
There.
That's right, Dr. Grant. Run away from his horrible acting.